Well, shit is about to hit the fan. From what I hear, these nuclear reactors are exposed and letting off a lot of radiation. There are 55 other nuclear plants right in that same area. There's earthquakes, tons of doom and gloom. And what do we do? I've done an awful lot of study. I've made a lot of videos. We've heard a lot of people say there's conspiracy theories. What is a conspiracy theory? It's somebody that's been affected by a problem and they've recognized that there's something a little wrong, that in order to fix what's wrong, you kind of needed other help from other people to see, hey, you're participating in what's wrong, and everything that's wrong is kind of hurting me. It's not really a theory anymore, and it's not really a conspiracy. If you don't know the role you are playing in everything that's wrong, is it really a conspiracy? Or do you just not know any better? That seems to be where humanity is we've been living hell for all of humanity, and we all seem to think that all you have to do is, oh, ask for forgiveness and you'll get to heaven. But that's not the real deal. Could be wrong, but it doesn't seem to be. We as humans created hell because we didn't know any better. It's our job to create heaven. And it's like humanity just touched the stove and knows that it's hot and we shouldn't really go there. It doesn't mean that any of us need to die. We can survive this. But you gotta kind of know how to survive this. And it almost feels like my whole life experiences, all of the hell that I went through is for this moment. And it's the same with every single person on this planet. Is you came here for a purpose. Anybody that was born today, you were born today for this moment. You just need to get in alignment with your purpose. A lot of people have gone for years. What's my purpose in life? Well, your purpose is about to show up. One thing that is extremely relevant right now is there are patterns within patterns. Science has really shown us a better direction. But a lot of people aren't understanding the new sciences. We're stuck in the old sciences. And science helps you perceive your world. And as soon as science changes, you will perceive your world a little differently. Now, at one time, we thought the world was flat. Then we found out it was round. We're about to find out it's not as round as we think it is. Everything you believe to be true just happens to be completely false. And that will be completely weird to you because you don't understand it. It's not something that you can comprehend right now. But this Mandelbrot set is a science that says there's patterns within patterns within patterns. Why is that relevant? Because my experience, my life experience, had to deal with abuse. If you see everything wrong in the world, it's abusive. There's a criminal and there's a victim. Just like there's an abuser and there's a victim of abuser. And one thing we know within these patterns is that it's generational. And one thing I've learned is I thought I was going to break this pattern. I was going to do better than my parents. Turns out I repeated the same pattern and didn't even know it. One thing that I did know is that all of these self-help books, all of the medical profession, everybody that says they know how to break these patterns, don't know shit. Basically, they only know how to block and deal and accept, which is something that I've been against. So I had to study this because I have 4 kids and I don't want these patterns repeated anymore. So I had to do an awful lot of study on science. Now you'll get a whole pile of people that say, I don't know what I'm talking about. But most of those people that are judging me based on old science that is proven not to work. They don't know how to have a conversation with the new sciences yet. And you're not going to be taught this in school. So no, I don't have a PhD, because that PhD in this information doesn't exist yet. A lot of really cool shit is out there that you won't get from school. A lot of kids are geniuses, but are not given the opportunity. You're not listening to them. One thing, when I went through hell, when I hit my event horizon, and the event horizon is now these nuclear plants. There's an event, and there's a horizon. Stephen Hawking studies black holes, that everything that goes into that black hole will get totally destroyed and ripped apart. And there's a psychiatric terminology too, that a problem is nothing more than a black hole. If you're experiencing a problem, doesn't it feel like there's no way out? Doesn't it feel like it's ripping you apart? Stephen Hawking is studying the universal world. And science has also proved, and this Mandelbrot set does explain these patterns within patterns, that what is in the quantum world, the smallness of ourselves, the micro of everything, is exactly the same as the macro, the universal world. They're reflections of each other. So when I experienced my hell, my black hole, like what's going on now universally, we are all going to go through the same thing. It's all going to be the same pattern. Your reaction is what's going to count. There is an event horizon psychologically within the inner world. How you handle just before you go into that black hole is going to determine whether you're going to be ripped apart or built up stronger. Same with the universal world. That's where we're going. How we as humanity handle this event is going to determine our future. And that's what I really, really think it's urgent for everybody to pay attention to. We really need to know how to handle this event horizon right now, because it'll either rip you apart and kill you and create all of your worst fears, or it could be the potential to actually create the type of world you really want to live in. You'll be able to live your purpose. You'll enjoy life so much. And that's like probably the biggest insult you could say right now, because everybody's really angry and it's like, I don't want to hear good shit right now. And it's like, no, you got to hear good shit. You got to know where you're going to be able to create where you're going. Now, from my experience, I could not stand anybody that's going to say love is the answer. Love and peace is the answer. Because when I was going through my hell, I didn't see love solve any problems. Love did not feed my family. Love did not pay the rent. Being peaceful did none of that shit. Being the love seemed to be the absolute worst direction that you could go into, because it solves no problems. So if I even come up with a suggestion, oh, be the love, it might be extremely offensive for anybody to hear those words. What I'm suggesting, though, is while you are in a lot of hate, then you're going to recreate hate, because hate will be inside you. You will only see words that confirm hate, and you'll constantly be going down that path to create more and more and more things to be hateful for. So being hateful and angry and negative right now ain't going to guide you down any path that is right. I was really hateful. I hated my friggin' world, because when I crashed and burned from the abuse, when I seen every system, education, medical, nonprofits, governments, economics, justice, you name the system, it was not there to help me, but perpetuate everything that was wrong. So these patterns that repeating It's very much tied to what was inside me and what was inside our social world. So it's like time to change society. And society is you. Society is me. It's all of us together. How we interact, how we relate to everybody. So being love and being peaceful and being calm is what's going to save you. It is not going to answer any problems. Just that being love will do nothing. But it will help you during those event horizons. It's time to forgive those, for they know not what they're doing. When you see these elites, these people with money, just kind of look at Charlie Sheen. He's got a lot of money, kind of going a little crazy, kind of calling himself a winner, but really, is he a winner? Do you think he is intentionally trying to do harm to everybody? Do you think he's trying to do harm to women prostitutes? He thinks that they're there to serve him exactly like these other wealthy people. If you got money, if you got a big bank account, trust, it's making your mind crazy and you don't know it yet. So a lot of these people that have an awful lot of money, trust, you're more insane than those that are living on the street. Because those that are living on the street can't fit within the society because they see everything that's wrong and lack the communication skills to get you to see what's wrong. It's next to impossible to tell anybody that they're wrong. Do you believe you're wrong? And one of the biggest problems that I've seen is the smartest people on the planet, the geniuses on the planet, try telling them they're wrong. You know, they're so right most of the time that if anybody even makes a suggestion that, hey, could you possibly be wrong? No, they're PhDs, they're, you know, how many times they've been right in their life, just will reject the concept that, hey, I could be wrong. But even I could be wrong. Every single one of us, the best direction that you could possibly go into is admitting, hey, I could be wrong, but I have an opinion. And that's how you end all wars, is you have to actually sit at a table and know that the only way out of this is if we have the conversation, and we have to figure out what is right. Somebody is wrong. The only way you're going to have that peace table is if everybody is admitting, hey, could be wrong here, but this is what I see. So the first bit of advice, because this is only going to be a short video, is yes, shit is hitting the fan big time. There is an information field out there. It acts exactly like an internet. Your intuition acts like a Google search. If you want to access good information, the only way to do that is you got to look at your inner self, your love, your goodness within yourself. And as long as you're angry, have any negative energy in yourself, when you use your Google search, your intuition, and ask, what do I do next? You're going to get evil information, bad information, and it'll guide you down the wrong path all the time. So being angry right now ain't going to serve nobody. It ain't going to serve you. It ain't going to unfold any solution in the future. As you can see, loving people that work for nonprofits sustain problems. They aren't fixing anything. They're just there after all of the problems show up. And as long as you're constantly fixing everything, you know, then it means, well, we can do the same thing over and over again because these nonprofits will come in and help save a small percentage. What I'm looking at is let's stop the problem before we even need a nonprofit. But a lot of people don't really realize that. It's sort of like a food bank. Why give me free food when my problem, what I want to see is I want to provide my own food? So that is the main message of this video, is get as loving and peaceful and calm as you possibly can. Ask the universe, the information field, what do I do next? And listen to your intuition. You know that voice that says, do this, do that? That's you. That's your full potential. It will guide you all the time. Now, if you gotta practice it, I ain't even got this right because we don't know what love is yet. But what you love out there, try and internalize that and see if you love yourself just as much. It's practice. So every time you ask, it's not going to be the perfect information until you know how to develop that absolutely pure love for self and ask information. So every step along the way, you'll get better and better. Just a suggestion. Peace out.